Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California. Happy Monday. It is the last day of January 2022. And so basically very little has changed since the last time we spoke. But I did want to give a quick update on the $100 in free Bitcoin we're offering up today. And that was for anybody who posted on the video. Just a comment on the video. There's no blood in the streets yet. And we have 3 people that posted a comment. So we are going to go ahead and do the drawing here. And Dana is going to come over here and help us out. And so who's going to be the winner? Let's see. Let's see who it is. And Jim K, you know who you are? We'll be getting that out to you. We'll be contacting you. Congratulations. And I did want to let you know, because there was a little confusion about how to get entered into the contest, whatever. All you had to do was post a comment on the video. That's great. That's, easy to do. That was really easy. We're going to make it a little harder for Wednesday's giveaway. We're going to give another $100 in free Bitcoin. But this time, what you need to do is you need to share the link to this video via email, and you're going to copy Dana on the email with 5 of your friends, whoever you think's interested in cryptocurrency. Again, that was a really easy giveaway. There was only 3 people, so you had a 33% chance of winning. Okay, let's see how many people jump on board and shoot out this video to their friends or family. Pretty easy way to win. Anyways, let's look at Bitcoin's price action. The more important thing here on the charts, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin CMEs today, the CME futures chart. And that's the best chart on Monday as the U.S. stock market just opened up. And well, we find that, CME price action historically on Monday is the most relevant, or more importantly, it's the most clean and clear chart to be working off. And so what do we have here is, like I said, pretty much the same thing we left off last week. Bitcoin trading in a range. We got, call it 39,000 to the upside and 34,200 to the downside. And I would say if we can get a 4-hour closure above, call it 39,000 on CMEs, I'm looking for general continuation up to this blue box territory at 41,645 to somewhere around 43,650. And actually, I'm going to pull up another chart that will show us why I think we're probably more likely to head up towards the top side of this blue box. So again, we're looking at a few things on the charts, and we're going to start off with the 4-hour here. This is the 4-hour time frame. And do we have any bearish divergence forming here? So, and what is bearish divergence? So we got lower highs in price and higher highs in RSI, and we do have some, but we do not have a confirmed local high yet. So we are taking this guy out to the upside, quite significantly. So, again, how would this be confirmed? Well, now we need a 4-hour closure back below 37,345. That would confirm bearish divergence. So I'm going to move our breakdown point to 36,750. Any kind of a 4-hour closure back below there probably gets us continuation to the bottom side of the range. However, I don't think that's what's happening. Why? It's trend momentum and volatility. So we got our first higher high, we got a higher low, and now we're working on another higher high, and we've got our stochastics, our momentum indicator turned up, and we've got volatility expanding. And so I would say more likely to the upside alongside NASDAQ putting in a $379 rally. And I would say this is quite bullish. So NASDAQ is usually the leader, leads the party to the upside, and NASDAQ looks like it wants to pop back up. And we were trading in this range all last week here, but that is going to give us a move probably up to that 15,300 level. And I think that coincides nicely alongside Bitcoin playing out a little bit of a bounce. As long as we have and as well, we have the dollar coming down here back to 96. Looks like we're heading down to the green 55, 96,408. So again, typically dollar down, stocks up, Bitcoin up. Vice versa, dollar starts to strengthen, it's not good for risk on assets. And we are still macro bullish on the dollar. The dollar is breaking out on a macro level, and this is completely fine to get a test back down here or even to the 9 exponential. This is on a weekly time frame, and we did get a confirmed breakout here. So, but with any kind of a weekly closure back below 95, that would look nice for a move down to 93 or call it $94. Okay, back on to Bitcoin's price action as well. And those are just some tertiary kind of underlying market dynamics. How does the NASDAQ play in and the dollar play into Bitcoin's price action? However, so back onto the CMEs. So if we do get validation on the 4-hour, with a validation conditions, Bitcoin back above, call it 38,920, I am going to look for a move somewhere between 42 and 43,000. Another thing we pointed out last week was our stochastics, right? The 5-day Stokes here, and I'm just going to put on our secondary. Here we go. This is the chart I want. Okay. So the 5-day Stokes here, not on CMEs, but on spot price action, are crossing up from a very, very low region. And we did say that as long as, and these will remain crossed up as long as Bitcoin stays above 34,500. And I am expecting Bitcoin to continue on with the general bounce party, right? As long as those 5-day Stokes are crossed up. And, this bounce doesn't have to happen today, right? 5-day time frames, it's a much slower moving kind of price action. So it's probably going to happen over the next week or 2 weeks. And if we look at the last 4 times we had the Stokes crossing up from this level, which is right here at about 8.95, or call it 9.08. The last 4 times that we've seen this exact kind of correlation where CMEs, or let's jump back to one of our longer term price charts. And again, BLX is the symbol for the longest term price action. And so what do I got here? So we basically got 4 touches on this line at this level, right? Coming in here over the last, in Bitcoin's price history. And every time the Stokes have crossed up, it's produced some very large bounces. Really not just bounces, but what I'd call a macro cycle low. And it doesn't mean we just, start to party and go to the upside, today or tomorrow. Why is that? Well, let's go back and take a look. So you'll recognize this time. This time right here. What happened here? October 2019 plays out a pretty nice bounce here, right? And actually, this is one of the ones that produced that was a 48% bounce. Before that is going to be January 2015. Excuse me, December 2018. And that was right here, right? And you can see the the Stokes cross up right there. But then it takes us, about 2.5 months to get going here, right? So December 2018 and this rally, that was a macro cycle low, 319% gainer. Okay, let's go back and check the other time. When was the other time? Right here. Oh, there we go. January 2015. And Bitcoin's price action. That produced a rather large bounce as well. We're going from there to there. That's about 80% bounce. And what about this other time right here? This is October 2014. And that was a pretty nice bounce as well from this low to that wick high, 59%. Okay, and our macro cycle low, the very first one, goes all the way back there, which I will. So again, this has only happened 4 times in Bitcoin's history where the Stokes have crossed up from such a low region. Again, this is our momentum indicator. It's not guaranteed to work out this way, but we're just going to look at, that's what technical analysis is. It's statistical probability. How do you look at statistics? You have to look at the past prior price action, and then you can make inferences on future price action. Of course, it's not always guaranteed to work out, and it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but you can see from this cross up here, October 2014, and the move started here, right? Let's say October 2014, and it came back and tested the lows. That was a 300% gain, and then we traded sideways for about 3.5 months, and then that's when momentum really started to pick up, right? So for a 1,400% gainer, that would have been nice, right? And so what else I want to bring up here just for a while? So again, I do think this market is going to be dull at best for a while, right? And why do I say that? I can see it on YouTube as well as I, hear it when I talk to people in the space, people who are, paying attention right now to this market. These are essentially the true believers, right? When Bitcoin's not just going to the moon, people get boring, they stop thinking about it. And really, my point is that we are probably not going to see anything major to the upside relatively soon, right? I'm talking about maybe Q3 this year. So I say, why not sharpen up your trading skills right now? Okay, you can set up a free TradingView account. I will leave a link in the description below there. I highly recommend you start there and then just start following along. You don't have to become a pro overnight. In fact, it'll probably take a year or at least 6 months for you to even begin to understand what we're talking about and how it all works and how to use the tools and how to look at, the underlying market dynamics. It really takes time and practice. So but here's why I became, really obsessed with technical analysis is if you can predict the future price action on Bitcoin, the number one asset in the world, I mean, how would you not want to know how to do that? It's a no-brainer decision for me, but I could be just a total nerd, right? I stare at the computer all day. I don't know, but to me, it's probably one of the most fascinating things out there. And right now, Bitcoin, again, we're still a little bit more in limbo land right now on the daily. I'll get back onto our spot price action charts. And on the daily, right, we just don't want to see any closures back below 34. What is that? Call it, let's look on our Coinbase chart here. No daily closures back below here. Call it 35,000. If we even get a daily closure back below there, that will destroy price action. And the thing will, probably come back down around $29,000 to $30,000 base. But until then, Bitcoin is more likely to play out a bounce. And why do I say that? Well, and yeah, can there be ebbs and flows? I mean, do we reject off to 21? I don't know, probably. It's been, pretty much allergic to that 21 ever since our breakdown back at 58,600. But I do think, again, bounce more likely than not. And I'll just throw back on the 4-hour time frame. And again, any kind of a 4-hour, the 4-hour Stokes are about to cross up here, which is good. Momentum to the upside as we are breaking the range in about 12 minutes here on spot price action. So I do like that for upside continuation. And what else? And I'm going to give away at the very end of the video the reason why I think there's a very easy play, a very, very likely reason for Bitcoin to give us a nice little bounce here. But let's see what the hourly is doing. So you see hourly volatility is up, momentum is up. The RSI is just getting into the bullish control zone. I do like that. Hey, any kind of a tick below this guy, though, we're probably going to get a quick move down to 38,000 and then bounce it up from there. But what else did I want to point out on our stochastic indicators? So we get the hourly. Hourly momentum is up. The bi-hourly, the 3-hour, the 4-hour, 10 hours crossing up, 12 hours way up there. Daily crossed up, 2-day. So all of our momentum, 3 days. The 3 days still hanging on. The 5-day just crossed up. And the weekly is going to cross up. Ultimately, I think the weekly is going to close here. Well, we got a whole nother week of price action here. But here's what I like on the weekly. On the weekly for a short-term move, I would say any kind of a tick above this guy right here, which I will bring it out a little more closely so we can see, and I'll even draw a little line. I think, I might even front run this move. Excuse me, my nose is itching a little bit this morning. With any kind of a tick above this guy, and I would say we get a move up to 43,500, which, what do you know, on the 4-hour, on the CMEs, that's 43,500. And keep in mind, CME does carry typically $100 to $200 premium over spot price action. They can come into parity, which is totally normal. So I did want to point that out. Now, where does the macro trend change? And that's a big question. Everybody wants to know, where does the macro trend change, right? And what do we do here is the macro, the weekly is, one of the best charts. It's the highest term time frame to kind of get the overall trend. And we did make our first lower low there, and we did fill the gap almost to a T here. You see that wick down here? That's a gap in price action. What happens over the weekend is that from Friday at, I think it's 3 p.m. Pacific, or 4 p.m. Pacific to, it's 4, I want to say it's 3 p.m. on Friday to Sunday at 3 p.m. The futures market is closed, right? But Bitcoin's price never stops trading. So spot price trades all over the weekend. Usually spot price action over the weekend is very wishy-washy and you just don't trust it, right? But CMEs open up on Monday they open up on Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern. It's one or the other, 4 or 7. We can look it up later, but it's right around there. You can look it up online. What time do the CME futures open on Sunday afternoon? And they open up, depending upon the time zone and the time change, it's either 3 or 4 p.m. Needless to say, those gaps in price action love to get filled. We got the gap fill, and now we're getting the bounce up. When you see a big wick like this, yeah, that's typically a bouncy region. And again, any kind of a tick above this guy at 38,910, we're probably going to get a move all the way up to 43,110. And that is it's a nice 10% gainer. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm just showing you what I'm looking at, kind of how I'd be playing that move. Okay, wrapping it up here. Today, I'll finish it up here with the monthly time frame. And this monthly time frame, the yellow 21 is typically where the shorts like to take profits off of bearish divergence. And what is bearish divergence again? You can really see it here. We get a higher high, but a massive lower high. And typically, that's just going to be one drive of bearish divergence, gives you the move down to the yellow 21. You get a big wick there, and that's typically where you see the shorts taking profits, right? So, and like vice versa, as soon as we got a tick below this guy, that gave us the move to the 9. That was a big kind of warning flag. And it works the same way to the upside. We get a tick above this guy, going to get a move probably back to the 9. So the monthly is going to close today. And so that's pretty interesting. And what else did I want to point out? Okay, just rehashing this again. Where does the macro trend reverse? We're going to throw on our little fib tool here. And we're going to take it from the top to the bottom, wick to wick. And I'm going to try and make this a little easier to see. So how can I make this easier for everybody to see? Because even this is hurting my eyes. Okay, so we're going to go wick to wick. Why not? In a more volatile market, you go wick to wick. In a more less volatile market, you can go, candle body to body. But this retracement says, okay, the typical bull trap is going to come in around the 0.5 or the 618 fib. So if Bitcoin wants to pop up here over the next few weeks, right, comes up to the 618, yeah. So, I'm not even sure what slacking means, but what I was saying here is that, if Bitcoin does want to put in the lower high somewhere between, call it 48 and 52,000, and then it comes back and breaks below that 382 fib retracement, I do think we'll head back to around $29,000 to $30,000 base somewhere in this region here. And I don't think it'll break it on the first pass, probably going to put in the lower highs over some time, right? It probably bores everybody to death. And then just when everybody least expect it, we come and fill that gap on the CMEs back down around 23 to 24,000, or call it 26 to 25,000, somewhere in that blue box territory. And I'll just drag this guy out here a little bit. And it's probably a little bit easier to see on spot price action here. But yep. So that being said, that's my thoughts, to wrap it up. Again, on the monthly, we're closing today, the last day of January. We're getting the bounce on the 21. We do think, probably going, Bitcoin plays out a bounce for the first few weeks of February. Where would the invalidation of that idea come? And I would say any kind of a 4-hour closure back below here, definitely below 33, but I would even front run it and say, a 4-hour closure back below this guy right here at 34,500. And I am looking for price action to come back down to the $29,000 to $30,000 base. And what I will do is put in a nice little blue box here. And this blue box goes all the way back here, and that's going to be somewhere right around here. And so, yes, we do want Bitcoin to stay here, and we really, the first etchings of this, reversal is a daily closure back above 44,500 or the green 55, and that would, give me my first bullish sign. But until that, this is all just ideas. And, ultimately we don't, I would love to see Bitcoin come down to 25,000, right? Everybody can get back in for a little bit more. Do I think that would mean the market is over? No, absolutely not. This thing's here to stay. I believe in $250,000 Bitcoin in the next 2 to 3 years. I think it's definitely in the cards, and that's why I'm going to keep my eye on this market like the back of my hand. And I hope you guys will follow along with us. And just, again, wrapping it up, we want to give that $100 in free Bitcoin away on Wednesday. So in the next 2 days, all you got to do is email the link to this video to 3 of your friends, copy Dana, my assistant, and we will enter you and draw on Wednesday. All right. Look forward to hearing from y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful rest of your day. Take care.